Greetings, fellow warriors, kings, and Christians, and welcome to Medieval 2 Total War. This is darkfireslide, and welcome to a new Let's Play where I'm going to be playing one of my favorite games of all time, Medieval 2 Total War. What is this game about? Medieval 2 Total War, and the Total War series in general, is a series where, on the surface, it is a 4X game. However, when you create armies and they battle with each other, they use historical tactics on a real-time strategy scale. So armies that you build on a campaign map actually become literal troops in battles. If you haven't heard of this series before, that's perfectly fine, because we're about to embark on an adventure wherein we, play this game. Medieval 2 itself, I believe, came out in 2006, so this game is about 10 years old now, but still looking quite good for it, I think. And without further ado, let us dive into the world of Medieval 2. So, we're going to play a grand campaign, which is the normal campaign mode, I should say, and it's really cool because it's a sandbox mode, where you can play as virtually any nation in the game, similar to EU4, but obviously you can't play nations that don't exist because they have to actually make armies. They can't just use a generic army system for every nation. That being said, at the start of the game, one thing that's really cool about it is normally when you first pick up this game. You haven't played it before. You can only play 5 factions to begin with. You can only play England, France, the Holy Roman Empire, Spain, and Venice. To unlock the rest of these factions, you have to either defeat them in a campaign, or if you win a campaign as any faction, you unlock every faction to play. And that is just really cool, right? And like I said, this is a game that tries to simulate real tactics, so it's not just an RTS where you just zerg units and try to, kill each other. You have to actually, flank and encircle and use cavalry, in certain, different ways, and it's just really, really cool. And obviously I'm trying to cater this to people who haven't, seen this game before, because I don't assume that everyone has, even though it's a very popular game, especially for the Total War series. And if you've never heard of Total War, consider this as like a I want to know what this game's about. I want to see what it can do. That being said, who are we going to play as? We could play as England, France, the HRE, any of these other nations, but who are we going to play as? We're going to play as the Kingdom of Sicily. And the reason I like the Kingdom of Sicily is that they get a lot of Norman units, so we get to have some fun with that, and get a lot of really cool, kind of role-playing stuff going on. I want to see, I'm excited to see how well the series does, if it does at all. Sega may do copyright claims, which would really suck, but I'm crossing my fingers because Creative Assembly does let a lot of other Total War YouTubers do this as like a thing. So I'm really excited about this, and I hope you guys like this campaign. But without further ado, let's read about the Kingdom of Sicily. And the game starts in 1080 AD. Although Sicily's proximity to Rome has given the island a rich history, it now stands as a true fledgling among the European powers. 6 years before the Normans successfully conquered England, their first true island invasion was launched against the Saracens that occupied Sicily, with more than a little encouragement from the papacy. King Roger the First Nation may be a relative infant, but with an island capital, southern Italy under his control, and a healthy relationship with the Papal States, it is an infant that looks likely to survive the journey to adulthood. Condoning the invasion of Sicily was only the beginning for the papacy's support of the Normans. The sheer presence of Rome midway along the Apennine Peninsula now serves as a sturdy political shield from the continental powers to the north. It's a barrier that looks likely to hold so long as the Catholic lords all remain faithful to the papacy. Hiding behind a shield is, however, not the way to establish an empire, nor is any defense without its weakness. The Holy Roman Empire shares borders with the Sicilians, and the armies of the Reich answer to the Kaiser, not the Pope. Even if the Sicilians successfully start to expand up the peninsula, they will soon have to deal with the Milanese and the Venetians. It would seem that the Normans will once again have to take to the waters to expand their latest kingdom. Close to home, other islands like Sardinia and Corsica make tempting targets for invasion. However, the Sicilians will need to look over the horizon to have a hope of long-term survival. To the east, the Byzantine Empire is fractured and relatively vulnerable, and there's ample opportunity to take advantage of the chaos on the Iberian Peninsula to the west. As for settings, we're going to go for a long campaign, which means we need to hold 45 regions, including Jerusalem. And each of these, separate map tiles is a region. We're going to be playing on medium difficulty. I just feel like having fun with this. Battle difficulty should be on medium. I don't know why it's on easy. But we're going to manage all cities. We're not going to show CPU moves, and we're going to have a battle time limit because sometimes the AI bugs out. This is a fairly old game, back before patch support was really like a thing for video games. So we're going to leave this, we're going to have a battle timer. It's an hour for the battle, and we're going to leave that on because sometimes the AI bugs out when it's attacking and it doesn't actually attack you. And that's annoying when you're on the defense because then you have to actually try to attack, which is, suicidal if you're usually if you're on the defense, it's suicidal to have to try to attack in the first place. So we're going to leave that on, or leave the battle timer on just so we don't have to deal with that. But without further ado, let's begin.
Sicily has achieved great feats for so small an isle. However, it is a land embroiled in conflict, fueled by religious war. The king who will lead this land to greatness must first quell the conflict between its own people.
Some obviously very aged graphics, but still good looking, I think.
To establish itself as an empire, Sicily needs a leader not afraid to settle conflicts within their own borders and march their armies to war across the world.
Alright, here we are. Welcome to the Medieval 2 Total War campaign map, where we are going to be looking to see what our options are. As we can see here, Rome is protecting our border to the north. We're going to immediately try to establish relations with the Pope, just to, get our own, likedness up, I guess. Get relations up, I suppose. And we're going to go scout to the north.
Without a trace.
See what kind of things we can find. We could potentially try to attack the town of Florence. And this is a not crazy idea, considering they have a very small amount of people. And that would kind of be a ticket into the north anyway, so I think that would be a great idea to do. We do have some knights and some Italian militia, some archers, and King Roger is leading this army as well. He's not a very pious man, and he's not particularly authoritarian, but he is a decent commander at 4 stars. So,
Orders?
Let's grab these troops. It'll take us a couple of turns to get to Florence. So we should probably actually look out and see if we have any ships that we could potentially take to get there instead. That isn't really looking like the case. So let's take another look. And it's going to take us about, let's see, 4 turns to get to Florence. But I think we're going to go for it. I think that's fine.
Hello, Your Highness.
Now we've got a princess by the name of Matilda. She is delicate enough to win over a simpler sort of man easily enough. Very well. Let's have her go be a diplomat for us. As for this army, Alberto here is going to go and take over Corsica and Sardinia.
Onto the ships. Full sail.
And it looks like it's fairly poorly defended, so we can look forward to that. Now in this town, we're going to start by building a farm, and the reason we start by building farms is because farms are going to give us a lot of income very quickly. And particularly, they're going to grow the population, and more population means better technology, basically. The more people you have, the better you can upgrade your buildings, and the better buildings you can build, and the better troops you can build. So population is just the way to go. It's basically it's an income and science building, so it's pretty amazing.
Yes, my lord.
Now, we're going to send this ship to go kind of explore the coast. The Venetians do own Ragusa here, and we can potentially foresee a conflict with the Ragusans happening at some point. For the time being, things seem to be fine. We have a mission to take over the rebel settlement of Durazzo. However, I'm more interested in Florence, so that's where we're going to go. The Holy Romans are likely to be angry at us for entering their lands. But as we can see here, the Pope has a
I must remain with
pretty, strong army here.
Your Majesty.
But let's parley.
Is there something I can do for you, noble lord?
They would absolutely accept trade rights and map information. So
I am afraid I must deny.
they don't want to offer their map they don't want to offer map information. They just want ours. So that's fine. We can give it to them.
Magnificent. You have made us. It would seem you are very.
Now, she's a delicate diplomat, and since she was successful in her mission, Matilda has actually gained more charm. So now she's about as enthralling as one expects from a princess. So, still technically average, but a lot of princesses don't really make it to this stage, unfortunately.
My lord.
your orders. Yes, my lord. Leading the men ashore.
All right, and we're gonna with Roberto. We're going to besiege Cagliari. I believe this is Sardinia and this is Corsica.
Is it
I
time
think.
to take the walls, my lord? Sire, as you wish.
The Holy Romans do have an army here in Bologna, and the Venetians look like they're on the march as well. Now, it might be in our interests to raise another army of militia, just to go, mass out and capture a city over here in Greece, or in the Balkans, I should say. Relations are improved with the Papal State. We're on good terms with them. Sicily's faith satisfies His Holiness, Pope Gregory. Well, that's good. It's good for us. Let's go ahead and end our turn. And how I've decided to probably, break up this series is I think what I'm going to do is make the battles their own video and make the make the campaign part their own video. That way the videos don't get too long and people can watch the parts that they want to watch. I think it's a win-win, and it also makes the video sizes smaller in general. So just all good things all around. It does appear that we're losing money from just how much our troops are costing to pay for, I think. Yeah, our army upkeep is pretty obscene right about now. And that's in part because we already have this army here of Prince Simon, our faction heir. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to send one of our galleys over to this dock, and we're going to send these troops over to Durazzo. Let's see, if we open up the mission tab. Right, the envelope. All right, we're gonna send the prince over there.
Yes.
Because we need to capture some land and we need to start making some money, That being said, we are gonna build a bigger farming plot in Naples, and I think we'll build some small roads in Palermo. I think Palermo is actually our capital, which is somewhat unfortunate because we don't really want to have a castle as our capital, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Of course, the question is now presenting itself.
Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
Can we afford to have like a prolonged siege?
They're going nowhere, my lord.
Can we actually afford, the troops for that? Now, thankfully, the troops here in Naples have free upkeep because they're militia, and militia in towns get free upkeep, which is pretty good. However, we are still just losing like a really kind of obscene amount of money every turn.
Yes, my lord.
So,
Full sail.
we'll be on the lookout for that. Do we actually want to assault the city? I don't think we do, because that would be basically even worse. So we're just gonna have to ride it out for a couple of turns with a bad economy. As a matter of fact, I think I actually am going to cancel this farming, just so we have a little bit of extra money to work with. However, it doesn't look like we're losing that much next turn. Yeah, because we're projected to make 3757, and we're spending 3800. So let's I shouldn't have canceled it, but hey, I don't want to lose all my money before we even get off the ground, because that would be like really unfortunate. Matilda has a suitable prince, and he has no command and no chivalry. He is loyal and pious, but it would take him a long time to become a good commander, as it were. Now, the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire is actually here in Bologna, so
Sorry.
pretty unfortunate. But let's go ahead and parley with him.
Is there something to discuss, mein guter Mann?
Let's see. We'll offer our map information and give trade rights as well.
Agreed.
They accept. Good. That should hopefully improve relations with them.
I shall approach
And
this
we'll go
man
talk to the
representing our people.
Venetians as well.
Yes. Yes, my lord. Plotting course now, my lord.
Okay. Our economy has gone under. This is unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure what the penalties are, but obviously this is kind of a bad situation. So how do we get our treasury in a better position? Well, we could cancel the communal farming again, but it's only got one turn, so I'd rather not. The problem is we're losing about 1,000 per turn,
Your will.
and that's in part due to these really expensive knights that we've got. However, I don't want to sacrifice our troops for nothing. However, an opportunity has sort of presented itself here. Here in this village of Durazzo.
Yes. Crossing for battle.
We could probably just assault this village, if we're being honest.
Protect the walls, my lord.
They've only got town militia and some peasant archers. I think we can just go ahead and assault this village. So this is going to be our first battle of the campaign. So I'm going to end this recording here. Thank you for joining me, my Sicilian brethren, and I'll see you on the next one.